So guys, in this video, we will see about moving, renaming and deleting a file manually as well as from the git bash. Okay. So now if I write git status, you will see there is nothing to commit, working tree is clean. And let's go to the folder, and here, if you want to rename something manually, you just click on that file name and then rename that file. For example, example2, I want to rename that with example3. Okay, example3, and then click enter. It is renamed. Now if I write git status again, you will see example2 is deleted and example3.txt is untracked, which is wrong. We actually renamed the example2.txt with example3.txt, so this is wrong. So ignore that thing and let's move that example3.txt into the staging area. Git add hyphen a, and now if I write git status, status, you will see now the git understand that we actually renamed the example2.txt into the example3.txt because it checks the contents uh, in the example2.txt and example3.txt, and it understand that both the content is same, so we actually rename the file. Now commit that thing, git commit hyphen m, and then name the file renamed example2. And now we will see how to rename a file from the git bash itself. Okay, so to rename a file, you just need to write git mv example3.txt, that means the file name with extension which you want to rename, and then the new file name with extension. Okay, so for example, the new file name can be example4.txt. so now you can see there is no example4.txt, there is only example1.txt and example3.txt. Okay, so there is no example4.txt. now if I click enter, now if you go over here, you can see example1.txt and example4.txt. That means example3.txt is successfully renamed, right? So now if I write git status over here, you will see it is already staged. We don't need to stage this file again. Like previously we saw that this file is untracked and we had to move that untracked file into the staging area by writing this code git add hyphen a, and then git understand that we actually rename that file. So but if you rename the file directly from the git bash, you don't need to move that file into the staging area. It is already into the staging area. You just need to commit that file. Okay, so let's commit that file, git commit hyphen aim, and then the name changed example 3, or renamed, you can write whatever, renamed. Okay, so in this way you can rename any files from the git bash itself by writing this command git mv and then the old file name, after that the new file name. So now let's talk about how to delete a file manually as well as from the git. Now suppose you want to delete this example4.txt, and if you want to do manually, you can just press the delete key from your keyboard, or you can click on this delete option. It will delete from your folder, right? So now if I write git status, you will see the example4.txt is deleted. Now if you want to commit this thing, you have to first move it to the staging area by writing git add dot, and then you have to commit that file with git commit hyphen aim and then the commit name. So it takes a long time, right? Let's undo that deleted file by pressing ctrl plus z, and this file comes back. Now if I write git status, you will see nothing to commit because this file is back, and we don't need to commit anything because the working tree is clean. Now if you want to delete that file from the git bash itself, for that you have to write git rm, then the file name, that is example 4.txt. You can see the example 4.txt is removed. Now if you write git status, you can see we don't need to move that file into the staging area again. It is already moved into the staging area. You can clearly see the previous example for .txt is in the red font when we deleted it manually, but when we deleted it from the gitbash itself, it is in the green font. Now if you go into the folder, you can see there is no example 4.txt. That means it is successfully deleted, right? So you can just write git commit and commit name deleted example 4. It will commit successfully. You don't need to move it to the staging area again. It is already moved into the staging area. So in this way you can delete any file from the git bash itself, and you can move or rename any file from the git bash itself. If you do it from the git bash, it will be already in the staging area, but if you do it manually from the file explorer, you have to add that file again into the staging area, then you can do commit. But if you do from the git bash itself, you just need to commit that file. You don't need to move that file into the staging area again.